Hello students, welcome to science class. See, now as you know that our lesson separation of substances, it means explanation of separation of substances is done earlier. So in this video I am going to explain textbook exercise. So let's begin with question number 1. Why do we need to separate different component of a mixture? And for that give two example. So you know that mixture when two or more substance mix with each other, this is called mixture. So why do we need to separate substances from this mixture? So you know that different types of substances are there. Some are useful to us, some are harmful to us. Yes. So for that, and sometimes sizes are different, sometimes their colors are different. So we need to separate some different components from a mixture. So we can say to separate useful components from a mixture or to remove harmful components from a mixture. And for that we can give example also, separation of stones from rice. So why do we need to separate different components of a mixture? When two or more substances are mixed together, they form a mixture, that you know. Now components of a mixture should be separated because some components may not be useful or may spoil the useful components of a mixture. So it means some are useful to us, some are harmful to us. So we need to separate sub components from a mixture. Now question number 2, what is winnowing and where it is used? So what is winnowing? So you know that winnowing is a one method of separating substances. So what is winnowing? So it means the process used to separate heavier and lighter component of a mixture by wind or by blowing air is called winnowing, because the name only winnowing. So in this method, by this method it means wind by the help of wind only we can separate some things. So the process used to separate heavier and lighter component of a mixture by wind or by blowing air is called winnowing, and usually this process is used by the farmers to separate husk particles from heavier seeds of grains. So the solution is the method of separating the components from a mixture, and in this method heavier and lighter components of a mixture are separated by wind or by blowing air, and this method is used to separate grains from husk. Question number 3. How will you separate husk and dirt particles from a given sample of pulses before cooking? So you know that before cooking we need to separate some unwanted, or we can say harmful components from a pulse, and then only we can use this. And maybe some husk particles also there, and you know that husk particles are light in weight. So light in weight, so they will fly away from the pulses by the, and some dirt particles also we can and some we can separate by winnowing, and if some bigger impurity is there, so we can use some hand picking method also. So but here husk or dirt particles only there, so hurt also light in weight, and dirt particles also we can easily blow with the wind, so that husk and dirt particles are separated from pulses by winnowing method. So question number 4 is, what is sieving and where is it used? So what is sieving? It means the method of sieving. So you know that sieving is a process, one type of process only, which allow the fine particles to pass through the holes of sieve. It means we take one sieve and put some that component on that sieve. So what will happen? So some holes are there in the sieve, so that holes of sieve allow the fine particles to pass through the holes, while the bigger impurities remain on the sieve only. So solution is sieving is a method in which the fine particles are sieved through holes of the sieve, while the bigger impurities remain on the sieve. And sieving is used in a flour mill to separate impurities like husk and stones from wheat before grinding it. Now question number 5. How will you separate sand and water from their mixture? Sand and water. So the sand and water from their mixture can be separated by some steps we can do. We have to do some steps for that separating that sand and water. First that take the mixture of sand and water in a glass, then allow that mixture to stand. Now after some time what will happen, then sand settle down at the bottom, and this process is called sedimentation, you know that. Now what will happen, that clean water appears as a upper layer. Okay, now gently what you have to do, gently pour this water into another glass. So this method is called decantation, and now you can easily that separate water and sand. So that solution sand and water are separated from their mixture by the following steps. First, the mixture is allowed to stand without any disturbance. Now sand settle down. So slowly pour the water into another container to obtain sand in the bottom. Now question number 6. Is it possible to separate sugar mixed with wheat flour? If yes, how will you do it? See, sugar and wheat flour. Sugar particles are somewhat big, and while wheat flour is fine, has fine particles only. So yes, it means here differentiate in the that particles. So yes, that we can easily separate that sugar and flour. So yes, it is possible to separate sugar mixed with the wheat flour. For that also, that sugar and wheat flour can be separated by sieving. We can easily sieve. That what will happen, as the size of the sugar particles is more than that of the wheat flour. So what will happen, sugar will stay on the sieve and wheat flour will pass through the holes of the sieve. So this way we can separate that sugar and flour. So yes, it is possible to separate sugar mix with wheat flour by the following method. First, mix sugar and wheat flour in water, then stir the solution to allow sugar to dissolve. Now filter the mixture. Filter contains sugar solution and residue will be wheat flour. This way also you can separate. Now question number 7. How would you obtain clear water from a sample of muddy water? So how will you obtain that? You have muddy water, so in muddy water some mud particles also there. So how will you obtain that? So again, that same method we can use sedimentation, decantation and filtration. First you will allow muddy water to stand, and after some time what will happen, that mud will settle down at the bottom. This is sedimentation. After that, upper layer is clear water only. So gently now pour this clear water into another vessel, that is decantation. And still if some impurities are there in water, so you can remove this by the filtration. It means and filter the water to remove that traces of mud particles. Okay, so the following process should be carried out to obtain clear water from muddy water. First, allow muddy water to stand and mud gets settled down in the bottom, and slowly pour the water into another container. So this way you can separate that mud with the water. After that, question number 8. See, question number 8 is a fill in the blanks. So here, fill in the blanks. Number 1, the method of separating seeds of paddy from its stalk is called. Now, seeds of paddy from its stalk. So by which method we can separate seed of paddy from its stalk? So here we will use threshing method. So the method of separating seeds of paddy from its stalk is called threshing. Second, when milk cooled after boiling is poured into a piece of cloth, the cream or malai is left behind on it. So this process of separating cream from milk is an example of. So here given that milk poured onto piece of cloth, and what will happen, that malai or cream will remain on the cloth only, and that milk only goes down. It means this is the example of, we can say, filtration only, no? So when milk cooled after boiling, it poured into onto a piece of cloth, the cream or malai is left behind on it, and this process is separating cream from malai is an example of filtration. Third, salt is obtained from seawater by the process of, that also I explained. Salt is obtained from seawater by the process of evaporation. How? Because of the heat of the sun, what will happen, that water from the sea will get evaporated, and remaining salt only will leave behind. So this is the example of evaporation. Now D, impurities settled at the bottom when muddy water was kept overnight in a bucket. The clear water was then poured off from the top, and the process of separation used in this example is called, very easy, sedimentation and decantation. How? Because you know that many homes, many ladies also does this, that when muddy water you will remain it for the settle down mud. What will happen after some time, when you see that mud will settle down at the bottom, that is sedimentation, and upper layer is a clear water only. So when gently you pour this clear water into another vessel, that is decantation. So this is that example of sedimentation and decantation. Now question number 9 is true or false. First, a mixture of milk and water can be separated by filtration. Mixture of milk and water can be separated by filtration. No, both are liquid. Milk and water, both are liquid. When milk and water will mix with each other, they cannot be separated by any method. So this sentence is false. A mixture of milk and water can be separated by filtration. That is false. Now B, a mixture of powdered salt and sugar can be separated by the process of winnowing. Again, mixture of powdered salt and sugar can be separated by the process of winnowing. That is false only. You cannot separate salt and sugar by winnowing. C, separation of sugar from tea can be done with filtration. Separation of sugar from tea from that can be done with filtration. No, when you add sugar in the tea, what will happen? Sugar will dissolve into the tea. So you will not, after dissolving it, it can't be separate by filtration. So that statement also false. Now grain and husk can be separated with the process of decantation. Grain and husk we cannot separate, because by the process of decantation, grain and husk can be separated by the process of winnowing. So this sentence is false. Grain and husk can be separated with the process of decantation. That is false. Now question number 10. Lemonade is prepared by mixing lemon juice and sugar in water. So you wish to add ice to cool it. Should you add ice to the lemonade before or after dissolving sugar? In which case would it be possible to dissolve more sugar? So generally what you do while making lemonade, see, lemon juice, while you make that lemon juice, whatever you lemonade, you add lemon juice in a water and then sugar and stir, and then at last only you add that ice in it to cool down. So if you first add ice and then sugar, so what will happen? It will not dissolve, because you know that it is not possible to dissolve more sugar before adding ice. So we should add ice to the lemonade after dissolving sugar, because sugar is dissolved in lemon juice easily without ice, as solubility depends on the temperature. Remember that, as solubility depends on the temperature. So it will be possible to dissolve more sugar before adding ice. So ice should be added to sugar after dissolving sugar. It is possible to add more sugar before adding ice. So students, here our textbook exercise of chapter 5 is over. After that, hopefully I will send you a PDF. So from this PDF, you can write textbook exercise in your CW. We'll meet you soon with the next video. Thank you.